To continue my explanation, Keeper Najin said that the who what she's heard from her contacts in the slave trade circles is that slavers are looking forward to potentially getting a new tool that has been cultivated from the ruins of salt. Those of you who have lived in the Ohari for a decent amount of time are aware that there are a decent amount of digs, archaeological spots, pretty much strewn across the entire desert, to some extent or another. It seems that long ago, the desert was a bit more hospitable and had a lot of cities pretty much everywhere and anywhere. One of those largest spots, however, is the ruins of Salt, which is a plain of salt. It's just flat plain, completely filled with salt. During someone's excavation there, about 100 or so years ago, they found that while, yes, salt, great, been cultivated for a while, underneath the salt is a city. And they've been trying to dig up as much as they can through that. It's slow work, but it's work.
They've discovered some sort of tool out of these ruins?
That is what they're saying. Unfortunately, the reports of such a tool have been vague at best. All I know is that the slavers believe that they will be able to utilize it to capture more, for lack of better terminology, stock. And her face, when she says the word, is just filled with disgust. What I can tell you is I know when it is supposed to be coming close to the city. Tomorrow afternoon, it should reach the western wall. If we are able to get a hold of it and potentially destroy it or figure out a way for us to use it ourselves, that is our time frame.
Would it be better to hit it before it reaches the city?
It depends on what it is. But worst case scenario, definitely.
Do we have any idea which gate it will be coming through?
Most likely, it will be coming through the gate that is closest to the shoreline. They plan on taking it to the magic district to have it assessed.
See.
The only other thing that I know for certain is that it is massive.
Oh, wonderful.
Of course it is.
It won't be hard to miss.
It may be harder to sneak away with then.
Indeed.
Not to move too far ahead of the acquisition of it, but once we do have it, what is the plan for that?
If we are able to, we would first secrete it somewhere in the city. Keep it far away from the clutches of the Venzoli mob, the slave traders, either the Sultan or the Emir, until we ourselves know what it is, and then see if we can use it. And if we can't, we destroy it.
So if we were to acquire it before it reaches the city walls, that means we will have to take it through the city wall.
Not necessarily. If you are able to get a hold of it outside of the city walls, there are several dens that I may be able to find a hiding place for it out in the desert itself.
Will you be sending someone with us who knows of these dens, or will you be sending us with some form of communication where we can get a hold of you quickly if we capture it out on the road before nightfall? We don't want to be standing out there in plain sight with it for long.
I can certainly do either. You have all met Yerk. He is quite familiar with all the dens outside of the city wall. Or I could give you an item to make contact with me quickly.
Well, sending stones are quite useful, but if York already knows them and he is with us, that is an instant answer as well.
Indeed.
I like
Which
Yerk.
would you prefer?
I think I would prefer to have him with us. Besides, an extra set of hands would be very useful.
Agreed.
Certainly. I'll make sure that he is acquired. When would you like him to meet you?
7:30 to this evening.
I shall make sure that he is here then.
What time is it reaching the wall? Or like what day, what time?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. So do we plan to head out tonight then? Leave the city tonight? Look ahead? We could scout a bit. Find a better place to attack a higher ground. No, it's plains
Yeah.
of salt.
Yep.
There's probably not a higher ground, but
You will not be going. You will not be going to the Plains of Salt. The Plains of Salt are a few weeks' journey away. We definitely have missed that window. I can, and here she gestures towards the map. They are traveling along this road here. It is the easiest way to get to here from from the Plains of Salt. And for the most part, there are blind spots here, here, and here. And she points at 3 different sections of the map where the concentrations of guards are relatively moot.
You have saltpeter.
I could certainly acquire it for you, I am sure.
And how about sulfur?
I understand where you are going with this, and it is not necessarily a bad idea if you are planning on destroying the object.
Well, even then, if it's being carried vis-a-vis cart, the carts can be disabled fairly quickly if one constructs blasting.
you're thinking
Would you like-
landmine then.
No, I'm thinking blasting. A landmine is far too much if we're trying to cover the rail.
Is Forge breaking in and out for anyone else?
Yeah, he is.
I'm just
It's
quiet.
not just me this time.
No, it
Okay,
is
good.
him.
You're quiet enough
Uh,
that your mic isn't sure if you're talking or not.
Yeah.
Pretty
Mike,
much.
listen to me. Jerome, bring me the microphone.
How come Forge has a whole crew and it's just me on this side?
See, I'm
Because
just
I
picturing
need a full crew to operate.
he's high maintenance, but also I'm just picturing Forge yelling at his hand that then picks up, like moves the mic closer to his face.
His hand is doing the duck bill thing, and he's talking to it back and forth.
With
Sock
little
puppet.
googly eyes on it.
Little sock
Sock
puppet.
puppet style.
No, we need to go away. I'm having really bad jokes. Go.
If I see the boom in the shot one more time, I'm gonna fire someone.
And that someone will be you.
Najin responds with, "Do you want one big blast or 3 small ones?"
3 small ones.
I'll make sure that York brings the supplies.
Marvelous.
Anything else that I can provide for you?
A pizza?
We're too far from Kestra. Or Vinzoli.
Vinzoli dishes are not my specialty. That's like Hutsengian drinks for you.
It's worth a shot. Also, how does she know that I made the coffee?
She was actually referring to Darian.
Oh,
Rin, he's stealing your credit.
Dorian doesn't really reply to that because he still doesn't really understand what the deal is with coffee today.
That was not said in character.
what's the deal?
I guess no response here. Not related to this mission, but out of curiosity, had you met Govid before yesterday?
Yes, I have met the High Keeper.
And are you comfortable under his leadership?
What are you asking?
I'm just trying to get a better sense of this organization we are currently working with.
I assume that you are referring to his fiendish nature.
I sure hope not.
Yes, for the most part, that is.
Govid Hamidi, before ascending to the position that he is in, worked with Heaven's Tower as a as an individual of low importance.
He worked his way.
He rose to power through years of hard work and distinguished himself during times of trouble. There are many of us who trust him with our lives now, even with his specific background. Some even are more comforted by it. While we know that we are not the good guys, we are also keenly aware that he who leads us is lawful. He has a code, and he does not break it.
I see. Thank you.
I do not
Did you
expect
feel
everyone
honest?
to be as. I do not expect everyone to be as comfortable with it as we are. Go and roll me an insight check.
Dorian
Cool.
leans back a little bit and says, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him true power. Not this to say he's not in a position of one, but to give him an entire country.
24.
She speaks the words with the practice that one who has thought long and hard about this for their own edification would. She's very evidently thought about this a lot and has come to this conclusion on her own.
So she definitely believes what she's saying, but she's not just like speaking out of passion or coercion.
Yeah.
It's very logical and thought through. Okay. Good to know.
Are there any other questions on any subject, as the floor is apparently open?
No? I don't think so.
That was my only question. I appreciate your willingness to share.
Well then, York will be by tonight with supplies, and I expect to hear from you all soon. She begins gathering her things as she's strewn across the table, handing things off to her guards so that they carry it and she doesn't have to. Have a good day, all.
Safe
You as well.
travels.
Au revoir.
And she leaves. You guys have a day to prep. What do you do?
Were the blind spots referring to the caravan itself or the geography?
Geography.
Okay, so how far apart are they?
There are a couple miles in between each. Depending on what time you're able to catch the caravan, it could be at any three of those points. Those are just points where guards tend not to patrol.
Got it. So to clarify, Rin, your plan is to have 3 separate charges set ahead of time. Yes?
Yep. We just need to hit the one that's furthest forward when it hits the third mine.
How long is the caravan?
You did not ask.
Oh, if
Rin,
they're
are you
set up
planning
to-
on
Yeah.
putting a bomb at each of the blind spots, or are you trying to put the bombs in a specific area?
So the way I understand it is, there is, say a hairpin turn, where there's like cliffs on either side that we can ambush from. I'm putting 3 bombs along that. One hits the first part of the caravan, one hits the middle part of the caravan, one hits the end of the caravan,
There you go.
and disables it utterly, throwing the people in the caravan into disarray, giving us our opportunity to strike while the iron is hot.
Also, are these cliff sides or are they more like plains?
It changes. The road that leads along the ocean on the northern part of the Ohari goes through a lot of different phases. There are some areas with cliff sides. There are some areas that are just an open plain where you can see the ocean very far off away. It's a very long road.
Well, if we're going to go through cliffs, we should be careful because we don't want to throw the object itself over.
I mean, we are trying to recover it if possible, destroy it if not. So,
Uh,
we-
what's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
I'm Daria and she's Liberty.
Nope.
Najin,
Nope. Hold on.
Zafir?
It's not an in-game person. I literally just forgot one of your names.
Kelso?
Jacob.
Jesse,
That's the word.
Oh, it was the DM he forgot.
How dare you?
I'm really bad with names. This
Minus
is an
5
ongoing
HP.
issue.
Yes,
it's
Forge.
more of a
What can I
character
do
flaw
for
at
you?
this point.
Are these reductive cliffs or additive cliffs?
You could find
Is this like a
either on the
canyon?
road.
Is it a canyon? Is what basically.
There is a section that does have a canyon.
We want the canyon.
Okay. I will say that is a heavily there are guards who patrol that area. That is not one of the blind spots.
That is not one of the spots. Is there a blind spot with a canyon in it?
There's no blind spot with a canyon in it. It is since canyons tend to be very good for ambushes, what you're trying to do right now, guards tend to make sure that those are well guarded.
Understandable.
So they would probably have less patrols on a more open plains field along the path.
A more open plains has less patrols, or at the very least, more widely spaced patrols. The cliff sides are a lot harder to patrol, so you'll have a better chance there.
Well, what do you guys think?
This is far outside my wheelhouse, so I yield to your gesturing to both the gentlemen. Greater experience.
Or and I'm assuming your vote is to attack from the cliff sides then.
Yes.
Very well. We will have to watch from our guards, but I don't think it'll be too much of an issue.
All right. With the scenario decided upon, you guys have the rest of the afternoon to prep. What would you all like to do?
Spell list.
I do not know.
I am studying, for lack of a better word, explosive physics.
Okay. Where do you plan on finding a book on explosive physics?
In a place where blast mining is common,
All right.
or a library.
Okay.
DM, do
Roll
I
me
have
investigation check.
any? Do I have any books?
Jeez. Roll me.
I have a very large library in my study.
You have a sizable library.
I rolled a 12.
It says you rolled an 18 on D&D Beyond.
It does?
Yeah.
Are you not looking at? You're rolling on D Beyond? It shows that you rolled a 17 when you clicked on it, and you get a +1.
Wow, I'm dyslexic.
Wouldn't dyslexic be
Maybe
81?
maybe try a different type of die that's easier to read.
Well, apparently I rolled an 18. How about that?
Aren't you glad that we?
I'm
can see
just
it
telling
too
you what I'm seeing right here.
Listen, man, I'm never going to say no to a higher roll.
Right?
Darian, unfortunately, your area of expertise has nothing to do with blast mechanics.
All right, then.
You could resurrect a blast miner.
It's an old house. I mean, yeah.
However, you are aware that your bookstore should have something on the subject.
You know, Bryn, actually, I think I may have something useful. Darian looks out the back door to look at the amount of daylight left.
I mean, it's still morning.
Right, it is still morning. I'm still thinking it's the evening. I'm going to head to the store and see what I can find. Probably check out a few books on the map that you might be able to use. Do you need to head to the city to buy materials?
It sounds like the materials are being provided. So now it's just knowledge of their use.
Fair enough. I am going to go see what I can find. I'll be back in an hour or two. And
All right.
Darian's getting up to leave.
I'll say that Darian, making your way to the bookshop, assuming that's where you're headed first.
Darian's headed to the bookshop Liberty's coming with.
Okay.
Sorry, I was adjusting spells since I hadn't
That's
taken my
totally fine.
spells for the day.
Darian, you will find a, for lack of better terminology, Idiot's Guide to Archaeology, that does have a section on explosives.
Great.
While you tend not to want to actually use explosives on archaeology, there do come times when they actually become effective. And this has a section on it. It's actually a pretty good seller for a lot of the archaeologists around here.
Makes sense. Do I find anything else?
Make a different investigation check. That was the result of Rin's investigation check.
Makes sense. Investigation is only +3, which puts me at 22.
22. Are you looking for anything else on blast mechanics, or are you looking for something else?
Probably something more chemistry related.
Lye is really good at dissolving flesh from bone.
This is also true. I might hang on to this one.
Lies and the hidden properties thereof.
The lie within the lie.
The lie within the lie. That was actually pretty good. With the 22, I'd say you'd find one other book that has some amount of chemical compositions that have explosive tendencies. Unfortunately, a lot of the chemicals that are listed aren't terribly common. There are a few that are common that would work. This would definitely outline how to make a fertilizer bomb. But yeah.
Hey, V for Vendetta.
Woo!
Yay!
Is
Also,
Rain
just
is Rain at
general
the
bombs.
MacGyver? Is Rain at the bookstore today?
I would assume so.
Yeah, she's already there when you guys arrive.
I would like to ask her assistance in looking up books with information on fiends. Two main points of interest: how to protect oneself from the influence of fiends, protection against possession, any ways to ward off an area, that sort of thing. And secondarily, if there are any historical or religious texts that record any alliances between heavenly or celestial creatures and fiends.
Go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage as Rain is helping you.
This is why we ask for help, guys. Oh, good. Thank goodness for advantage. That makes it a 15 total.
There are some basic books of religious scripts that, especially from the Church of Dumal, that are provided. As while the Church of Dumal is definitely more law keepers in the like, they do tend to try to keep people from being fooled by fiends. Kind of part of their job. They're supposed to keep that in check. And they do have several documentations on the subject. Looking through it, however, you don't find a Rakshasa.
Okay.
And each looking through it, there are some suggestions from the Church of Dumal, like, don't make a bargain with this thing. Don't agree to sign something unless you've thoroughly read it and actually understand what's going on. And then second guess yourself. Stuff like that. The basic idea of how not to get tricked by a devil.
It's mostly just avoid them.
Step 1.
It's mostly avoid them. Yeah.
So there's So there's no like rituals where like, hey, if you put these materials and you say this prayer and you light this incense, then you can keep them out of the house.
Unfortunately, most of that is addressed in this book, and occasionally they'll say some individuals believe this to be true. However, the Church of Dumal has yet to been able to document any instances of this actually working.
Yeah. What are you doing, sir?
Why are you rolling damage for Witch Bolt?
I misclicked. I was moving spells around.
Ow. Liberty's in pain. Why have you attacked me? Why have you betrayed me so?
Next action on
Curse
next turn,
your son,
I'll
but
do it
inevitable
again.
Betrayal.
And other than the fact that there's the Church of Dumal, which kind of puts it into a gray area, no clear alliances between celestials and fiends.
With a 15, it is, you find it interesting, the fact that Dumal doesn't necessarily to be at war with any of the other gods, which does strike you as odd. At least not openly. There are gods that like say that they don't necessarily that they avoid him, but there's no open animosity.
Yeah.
There is open animosity between some of the gods. Specifically like Sig and Bralo tend to not get along at all. That for those who are listening's edification who do not possess the document that I set out to the players, Sieg is the god of elves and Brawlo is the god of orcs, and those two creatures tend not to get along.
Holy shit! No,
By
I'm not.
shock
I'm kidding.
overwhelmed.
Just gonna write that in a book from
I mean, to be fair, Sig's domains include light, life, and knowledge, and Brawlo's are war, death, and blood. So,
Not very compatible.
hmm
But yeah, all in all, that's what you find.
cool.
If you are, however, looking specifically for it, I will say that working with a demon and making a deal with demon are not necessarily the same thing.
hmm
Still suggested to be avoided, but
Mhm.
making a deal with the devil is specifically bad juju, where working with the devil very rarely touched on.
That distinction has been noted. Liberty has many thoughts, none of which she is
As she
sharing at
should.
the moment.
Let's see here. That's Darian and Liberty. Darian, is there anything else you were trying to do in town?
Not that I can think of currently.
All right. And Liberty, is there anything else you were trying to do in town?
I don't think so.
Okay. A little
I
while
mean,
later. Oh,
She's
go ahead.
definitely keeping an eye out anytime they're like out in public, just to see if there are any figures of concern nearby.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Cool. 13.
Okay. None that you notice. I mean, there's still the group of vagabonds that sits outside of Darian's house, but that one's become kind of a staple by this point.
hmm But no old faces that I
Um,
recognize, which is fine.
Yeah, no, you're not seeing any of those. Eventually, you guys both make your way back to the Ramtook Manor. Give Rin his book that he requested. Rin, in the meantime, is there anything that you've been doing for prep?
Going over maps.
Stealing all
Okay.
of Darian's lie.
There is a very large map of the Ohari that is in his office. Looking it over, you're generally familiarizing yourself with the area in which you're planning on having your mission.
Rin has fashioned little figurines out of toothpicks and various household various household appliances to symbolize all of the moons and everything.
Okay.
I need to know in full detail whatever it's
Man
made
after
out
my
of.
own heart.
Oh gosh.
Darian's
you guys aren't
marshmallow.
gonna get this reference.
I was gonna say
Burnt
sponge.
For
The burnt
Jacob's
marshmallow.
benefit, I'm just picturing that one She-Ra episode where they're all trying to do battle planning. And people keep interrupting and wanting to join in and say their idea of the plan.
For Jesse's edification, remember the NPC I was going to introduce in Noble Comics that had physical representation for your entire party?
Oh, did you actually tell us about this one? Or tell me
I
about
definitely did. But that's
Mhm.
neither here nor there. That's a different story for a different time.
it? Yeah.
You guys eventually make it back. Rin is leaned over a table in Darian's office with a map sprawled out across it and junk just scattered on the map.
Okay, Ren, I found 2 books. One on archaeology and using explosives to do
You
that.
scared me.
I scared you. That does
No,
not
not
seem
at all,
like it.
actually. But I figured I'd at least pretend, just in case it made you feel better.
Charming. The other book is
Yes,
about
I am.
chemical composition.
Marvelous. Drop it off on the mantelpiece there.
Darian puts the books down on the mantelpiece. What are those?
They're toothpicks.
Hmm.
Haven't you seen a toothpick before?
I know what a toothpick is.
Small
It
scissors
looks
of
like
wood
a.
used to pick out food particulate from between your teeth.
No, I know what toothpicks are. This
Oh, I'm so glad to hear
looks
it. I was
like
really
a
concerned.
rejected kindergartner's arts and crafts project.
Ooh,
What is a kindergartner?
that sounds like a
It's
Southern word.
no.
Who has the closest to German?
Specifically,
Literally a German word meaning child garden.
Never mind. I'm not gonna.
DM.
It's a reference to an old tale about a hag who used to grow children.
Love it.
The
course it
children,
is.
however, grew up to be very stupid, and
Hey, I work in education. Be nice.
That was good timing on your part. You did it. Good job.
You're the worst.
gotcha, guys.
Oh, that was close. It's almost my nose.
Your suffering feeds my soul.
Likewise.
Okay, Magic Brian.
Delicious.
Did somebody say the Sultan?
No, that was way more Magic Brian.
No, it wasn't even approaching German. Don't you even?
Eh.
It wasn't even German adjacent.
The DM is giving us the wrap it up signal and then disappearing from the camera. So
My object permanence.
Okay, that one was good.
Okay, the 10 points that Darian put on the creature are going off. That was
Yay! With that, I believe it was your turn for a clever rebuttal, as you so often do.
I already did one. What's a kindergartner?
Right.
Keep up.
Darian's going to shrug that one off and just end the conversation.
I feel like that'd be an accurate question to ask, though. I don't think kindergarten exists.
if it
I just explained what it is.
Yeah, a hag who gardens children.
Rin's not a doesn't seem to have experienced any classical formal education. He's streetwise, not book
That's
smart.
exactly
That's
why
about
he's
why.
shrugging off the question.
The man asks you a legitimate, honest question, and you ignore him.
No, he's going.
worst.
He's
People
asking
like
a
you are the
pointed question.
reason why the people like you are the reason Rin's a piece of shit.
No, he's asking a very pointed question that Darian is not physically capable of answering without being a piece of shit in response. Darian's being the bigger man.
No, I would say Darian's being the smaller man.
I would say you're both tiny men in this situation. About
Says the
the size
tiny
of a
woman.
toothpick model.
I'm assuming they're markers for the planning that you appear to be doing.
Careful, don't want to make an ass out of us. But yes, I
feel
suppose.
that.
And there'll only be one more in the room.
Do you care if I name my firstborn son after you?
Oh no!
Dipshit Orum sounds like a good name.
Does that mean we get another 10 points off, DM?
No,
Based on that
no, I'm just
reaction?
here. I'm here for the
Liberty.
drama.
Liberty has wrapped her scarf around her face and is walking into the kitchen to make some more tea.
Yes, that one's you, and he points at the marshmallow. And this one's Liberty, and he points at the he points at a cork that he has wrapped a piece of silk around the head of and tacked on a small little It's not it's not a post-it note. He's just put a little tack with a tiny piece of parchment in the top of the quote unquote scarf that says lies.
I'm assuming that's him.
No, that's
I really
Liberty.
need to sleep. I need
Oh.
to just.
So there's a piece of paper that says lies on it tacked to her then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Darian's going to ask about the note because he's not following that.
Liberty's in the other room. She hasn't looked at the figures that closely.
What does the
This one is here, and it's just a cork that has been painted a vibrant shade of red with an angry face on it.
I hate to admit how accurate that one is.
I love how we just had an example of Rin's amazing, beautiful art skills, and like 12 hours later, he's making these.
He has a sense of irony that he greatly enjoys exercising.
Yep.
I have my sister's an artist. This is 100% accurate to artist personality. They can't stop
That's so
creating.
true.
Well, it's like
Like-
anyone who teaches English, they'll write essays and stuff all day, but the second they're off their clog, their response to a text is no, why you? It's like they've done it all day. They don't want to anymore.
I'll have you know, I brain the words quite well in my off time. Thank you very much.
Speaking broadly.
How rude.
What is the bit of parchment on that one?
It's parchment
Why does it say lies?
because
That's about this
I painted I painted all of you true to character.
That's about as accurate of an answer I'm going to get out of you. Darian
Look at,
notices.
look at how accurate this is. He says, squishing the marshmallow repeatedly.
I was going to say Darian notices the very precisely and delicately burned like char of the corner of the
I was
marshmallow
going to say the toothpick representing his what was it, his left arm. It has been blackened over a fire and has a lightning bolt drawn on it.
right arm, but yes.
Right arm
Wait, how do you draw a lightning bolt on a toothpick?
with a
Yeah,
sharpie.
Very carefully.
That one's funny. I like that one.
I'm glad.
So, what have you come up with since we left earlier?
Well, we'll be here, here, and here. I'll be here. You'll be here. Let's see. Blasting caps will be here. I'll set them off once they hit here. This is a purely audio medium, so this is serving no one any good.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
He's
the
not
DM is
actually
looking at the
pointing
map
at anything.
been
He's just
drawing.
talking to himself. I'm going to assume that was comprehensive, though. So, okay.
Absolutely, it was.
All right. Looks like we have a pretty decent plan.
Thank you.
How long do you think it'll take us to reach any points to where they're clearly starting to set up, kind of towards the cliffside? How long do you think it'll take us to reach here?
Hell if I know. I have no concept of distance.
Fair
He looks
enough.
through the fourth wall. How long will it take us to get to the blind spot, DM?
Depends how much when you guys are going for. It'll probably take you a good 8 hours of travel.
Is that walking?
By foot. Yeah, by foot. If you guys take a cart, you'll probably make it in 6.
Will Yerk be bringing a cart by chance?
You did not ask.
Understandable.
I will say, however, you do still have the cart that you use to pick up the flail snail.
Does that include a horse?
I would say that yes, you
Okay.
probably own a horse. You own a manor, you probably own a horse.
I'll take it. It's not a mental
Granted, it's not
association.
a great horse, but
But it is, in fact, a horse.
It's not a great horse, but it is a horse.
It's feeling a little hoarse.
I'll
It's
hurt
seen
you.
better days.
And the 10 points are back.
You're
Look at
undoing
that.
you're undoing my hard work with every word you take,
So quickly.
every breath you take,
Liberty
every
comes
move you
back
make.
with 3 cups of tea, one for herself and one each for the gentleman, if they should so choose.
Thank you.
So, have we come to an understanding of the plan? Do we have a plan?
Why, yes, you'll be here. I'll be here. Darian will be here. Zafir will be here. The blasting caps will be here, here, and here. I'm doing this bit again because repetition is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Does my figurine say lies?
What?
Maybe.
Don't understand why that's relevant for pieces on a map, but alright. Are you upset about something, or are you just doing this because you think it is funny?
Okay, no los dos, mademoiselle.
At this point, I always just assume it's the latter.
Again, I don't speak Venzoli.
You've not had Frisoli before? It's delicious. You must.
You didn't.
Anyway, it will take us about 6 hours by cart. Thankfully, we still have the one from the last job. Is the interception the same day, or is it the next day? Is it that afternoon?
So tomorrow afternoon is
Okay.
when it should be reaching the gate.
Okay.
We're trying to catch it before that time.
It'll take 6 hours to get there. So 6 hours prior to that, plus time extra, let's say 8 hours. So 8 hours before afternoon. So in the morning is probably when we should leave. If not, like relatively early morning.
At the very latest, yes.
Plus, we will need time to set them up, so we should probably leave more closer to the middle of the night.
I can handle that.
I will make sure Zafir does not make the coffee tomorrow.
DM,
Or not.
do the
His coffee today was perfectly serviceable.
gates usually get like closed after nightfall, and is it harder to get through them?
They at the very least get half closed. Some of the some of the gates get fully closed, but a few of them are only half closed, allowing very small amounts of trickling travel.
Liberty's gonna look over the maps. Is there a way we could take the cart out through one of these other gates and circle around to the blind spot?
No. They close a good amount of the gates. We would have to take an alternate route, at least out of the wall. Gates 7, 12, and 14 are normally. I don't know why the DM's looking over his shoulder and I got nervous for a second.
Looking at the map, trying to keep up with you.
Are normally will at least let people in and out. If we
My concern is I wouldn't want to go out of the shoreline gate and then be one of the last people to go out that way before the caravan is attacked.
No,
Rin?
we will go around.
Yes.
The spot that you're planning on making the attack, if the caravan is supposed to make it into the city tomorrow afternoon, they will probably be reaching that point very early in the morning.
Okay.
So we should leave before nightfall then, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that if you're planning on catching them there, probably.
Okay. I will retcon what I said earlier and say that instead.
So we prepare Everything so we can leave as soon as Yerk gets here?
Yes, we should be leaving in a few hours in that case. So if Darian starts pointing at spots and paths along the map, Gate 7 is probably far enough away that we can get out, go around, and converge back on this path within a good distance of the wall. It'll take a bit more time, but we also won't be anywhere near the gate they are going to be coming by. Also,
Are you looking at the map I sent you?
I am just saying numbers.
Okay.
I'm looking at the map. The only things
I am
numbered
just
here
saying numbers,
are like
spitting bars, as it were.
Spitting bars.
like I mean there's only like 5 outer gates in the city. Although
There are a lot
technically
more
we're
gates
out.
in general, but
Mhm. I forgot that we live technically outside the city, so we wouldn't
yeah,
have to go
there's a
through the
little
walls before we.
symbol on that map that's very far west. And that's you.
Is it the
Oh,
one beneath the
over
two
by
hills,
the-
or is it the one much further down?
The one in between the two hills.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're over there.
Oh, and the shoreline.
I did a
gates,
lot
that's
of work
the-
on that map, guys. Use it.
Yes, I'm trying.
Wait, do I live on the?
So.
Oh yeah, west is on the left.
So the shore side gate, that's over on the Sultan's side of the city, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so we're on the opposite end of the city.
Correct.
I have a
Oh, boy.
tendency to forget which side of the city I live on.
You live over in the Emir. You probably don't want to be practicing necromancy on the religious side of town.
Nope.
Although the college is also on the religious side of town.
Interessante. Which is also
Although
where the
it's-
magic district is, right? Or
It's where so the little island at the northeastern side of the city, that is pretty much fully claimed as a arcane zone. Not arcane zone, that's weird. But like pretty much the college owns that island. It's practically
oh, I see. I
it's-
see. Yeah.
it's not like its own city, but it practically could be.
It's one of those big sprawling college campuses that's pretty like self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was this you being bitter about the loss of Fayshire and you created your own little island college?
Shut up.
No,
So that's
Is
perfectly
meant,
understandable,
but I
and
need
I
to see
support
the
you.
image.
no.
This is totally a healthy way to cope.
I didn't just totally use the 3 pages of backstory I wrote for Friedrich to use to make that island. No.
Well, then I'm
What? No,
disappointed
never.
because that would be a waste of all of that wonderful writing you did.
I did some pretty good writing for that. And
Oh.
only Bongo got to see it.
I am familiar
I
with
got
more
to
than
hear-
3 pages of backstory.
Maybe you should read.
Like,
what
I kind
wrote
of
in
made an
50
entire
pages.
college in those 3 pages, so
Yeah, it was wonderful. heard
I've been
bits
sending the
and
DM
pieces
stuff
and
lately that's just slowly adding on.
it's been
I call
great.
the PM and I go, okay, so I need to come up with names for all of these people. And then 3 minutes later, I'm like, okay, so there's a whole list of names. Here are some vague descriptions of them. Feel free to add stuff onto my Google Doc here.
Okay, so to clarify, so there's 3 layers of walls around the main center of the city, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You have your outer city, you have your inner city, and then you have like the Emir, and you have your little like palace central.
And outside the farthest wall, there are like suburbs. There are little
Mhm.
sections of living spaces that are outside the wall. The
So
city expands beyond the walls. You are technically living in one of those expansions.
Right.
So we could take the main road around the city, but even then, if we want to stay on the roads for the most part for the cart, we would still need to come back inside the city and then over in the river gate and then come through and
It's unmarked because this is a hand-drawn map, but there is a road that leads from that road that goes to the river. It continues along the river towards that gate at the base of the river, where the river and the walls meet, and then continues around on the outside of the wall and joins up with the road on the gates out there. You can go around the city without having to go through it.
do we want to try that, or do we want to go through the whole city? Or a strong part of the city?
Is their route taking them along the river, I'm assuming, or is it somewhere else along the map?
Their route is taking them along the ocean. So you see that road that kind of disappears off of the top right-hand corner?
Yes.
That road.
Okay. If we go all the way around the outside of the city, how much extra time would that be?
Not much, if any. You can go a
We'll
lot
get to avoid
faster on a road
intersections and
outside.
stoplights.
Yeah.
Okay. I say we do that then.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess Liberty will brew some extra strong coffee for those that'll want it tonight, and then we're just waiting for Yerk.
All right. Are you planning on taking Zephyr? Are you planning on asking Zephyr if he wants to come? Okay.
Can Rin do this?
Yes, he
Yeah,
can.
I'm just gonna assume that Rin beats him to it.
We didn't ask.
It makes sense. I left the house for a handful of hours.
It's true. That's probably about the time that Rin would take.
I imagine that Zephyr walks down while Rin's messing with his little toy figurine and asks him about it.
I have plan.
Rin would have to go find Zephyr, actually.
Yes, Rin is absolutely going to hunt him down.
Okay. Searching around, he appears to not be in the house, so you go out to the garden. And while out there, you do hear what sounds like someone beating sticks together on the far side of the shack that holds most of the gardening equipment. Going around that and peering past it, you see that Zephyr has set up a fight testing dummy and has, well, first off, he has set up two, but the first one that he set up has been cleft in two because he tried using his actual sword on it, and it kind of sits in a crumpled heap on the ground, and he is now taking an old rake handle to the new one.
Let's see. Is there a tree or something near him?
Yeah, no, there's a tree that there's a tree that covers this kind of encroaches over this side of the shed.
Excellent. Rin's going to slip into the tree and crawl to a branch that leans over Zephyr's head.
Okay.
And he's going to slowly lower Zephyr's figurine down on a piece of thread till it's like dangling right in front of his face.
He first swats at it like it's a spider that it... Hey, that's what actually catches his eye, and he looks at it. Ha ha.
You don't like it?
What is it supposed to be?
You.
He catches in the air and... Okay, that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, I know.
Did you need something?
Yeah, you coming with us tonight?
Coming with you where?
On a journey.
Maybe. Where are we going?
West. No,
No, I was actually gonna do a Hobbit quote, but I guess that works.
an unexpected journey. That's also fair.
We're gonna blow some shit up and kill some people. How's it sound?
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Welcome
All right.
to the Chaos Club.
What are
How's that sound? I'm playtesting names.
Chaos Club? I have heard better.
The Wonder Brigade.
No.
I'm
The
pretty
League
sure
of
that was taken.
Justice.
Ugh, I hate that one.
The Avengers.
Potential? But all in all, that means that they lost something at one point in time.
The Teen Titans.
Forge is just really hoping
None
to
of
get
us
this
is a
particular
teenager.
video flagged.
Literally none of them are teens.
I mean, y'all don't know how old Liberty is.
She's definitely not a teen.
They don't know that.
We'll keep working on it. So what are we fighting? Who are we fighting? Who are we killing?
Flavors.
I'm in. 100% I'm in.
Good man. Grab your figurine. We have work to do.
He'll snap the string and follow you inside, and we'll have been present for the conversation so far then. Although he's kind of in he's kind of in the corner, put his feet up on Darian's desk, and he's just kind of relaxing.
Which one's putting their feet on my desk?
What?
Which one has
One
their feet
without
up?
horns.
Zafir has his feet up on your desk. Rin has his boots. Has only his boots on your desk. He's standing there barefoot.
Oh,
I love this game.
I love Dungeons and Dragons, you guys.
Is there any during the last couple hours as evening begins to encroach, and as you wait for Yerk, is there anything else last minute that you would like to do?
To clarify, they aren't the remainder isn't ready till tomorrow.
The
Remainder.
remainder.
The skeletons. I'm sorry, the skeletons.
Oh, that is correct. You could speed up the process, but it'll probably take up the entire time that you're waiting for Yerk.
What if he had help?
If you ask for help, you definitely have it done before Yerk got there.
No, Darian's not going to ask for help.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I
How
mean,
are you going to do that subtly in front of the cleric?
I'm not doing it in front of the cleric.
That's my point.
Oh,
Like, Lynn could see
I thought you
some
meant
if he
this.
wanted to.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the stirring of the pot itself.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burning, cauldron bubble. Eye of newt and tongue of frog. Adder's fork and spawn of hog.
Not Piglet. Anyways.
Oh God!
And there's the soundbite.
Oh, it's been a while since I've gotten Forge's reaction like that.
Audible gasp.
Audible gasp
Audible
indeed.
gasp is very much not like him.
You guys think we could get this episode sponsored by Audible?
Audible gasp.
Not now!
No, no one's supposed to hear these.
No
one's supposed to know that
no
they
one's
exist.
actually supposed to hear these. They're
Only
going to
Jacob's
talk onto
family.
YouTube
No one
for
else. Just
identification.
Jacob's family.
That's awkward. I've been sending them to everyone.
These
Hi, Jacob's
recordings
family.
are just so that Kelso
Hi,
has
Jacob's
receipts.
family.
Everyone
You
say hi to
didn't
Jacob's
send-
family.
No,
I'm
don't say hi to
sorry,
my
guys.
family. Oh.
It's too late.
I'm
We got
sorry,
them all.
guys. Please don't.
It's
please
so
don't
glad to
offend me.
have you all gathered around the campfire today.
This
I've been
is
looking
Well,
your
I don't know if I
meeting
would say
Jacob's
today.
family for years.
this is your sessionally reminder that you guys aren't supposed to be here. Go away. These jokes are crass.
Hello,
will hear
my
people swear.
darlings.
The
This
jokes
is
aren't
my
crass. We are.
my speak for yourself.
I love you all dearly.
This is my periodic session reminder that I am an apology that I am so sorry for introducing Jacob to Forge. That's my fault. That is my burden to bear. I'm
That is
sorry.
your fault.
Yeah, Darian's not gonna ask for help with that. He's going to
Lame.
slink off and then double check that no one sees him go there.
Can I roll a perception?
Nope, you are in the study.
Forge.
He's also a nosy.
Is Rin actually trying to keep tabs on Darian?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll use your passive perception.
I just kind of wanted to see if I noticed him leaving the building.
Suspicious like.
Darian, roll me a stealth check.
Stealth is all the way at the bottom.
I love you, but I hope you roll bad.
I rolled a total of 15, which I know does not beat your perception, because you are a perception person.
15 meets his perception. So
Does it go to the runner?
it goes to the attacker.
Yeah.
So technically, Rin, you would see Darian leave the study, make a fuss about doing something, and then head into the storage room where you know there's a cellar. But that's the last you see of him.
You can see through walls.
No, but there is a section of the study that you can see that door from.
Listen, if Batman can do it, then so can I.
That is not accurate.
Yeah, but no.
But Darian, you make your way into the cellar. No one seems to have followed you.
Now, just because you said that, it triggered my instinctive, but now I want to follow you.
I
Don't
know,
metagame.
but we know
Don't
what to do with those
metagame.
instincts.
I'm trying not to, but it's instinct.
But your geese are injures.
I'm too spiteful a person not to want to.
Allow
These are
me to provide a
facts.
distraction. So, Rin, you said this could be both your joke and also you're upset about something. Are you upset about something I have said or something I have withheld? Pointing to the paper of lies.
Oh.
What are you talking about? What do I have to roll to make it seem like it's disappeared?
Sleight of hand.
Excellent. Let's see. Got a hand check. Please be good. This is too good not to have happened. 16.
That is indeed what he rolled.
I see that. Is this versus my perception or
Why
my
can
insight?
everyone see my rolls?
Because you're
rolling in
the
D&D
group.
Beyond. He beats your passive.
He beats my passive perception, yeah. So that's fine.
So you didn't notice him take it away. It's just all of a sudden not there.
So the paper that she gestures to is already gone.
Yep.
All right. You're the one who you're the one who always says we make things needlessly complicated.
Hmm?
I realize that Forge cannot actually see my facial expression, so let me try to sit back and
Oh, we can all feel it.
Really?
Just a soft sigh. Yeah, that is, it's those eyes.
Not mad, just disappointed.
A little bit.
Oh, you know that's worse.
I don't know. I've
Could be
disappointed
better.
a lot of people. I think I'm used to it at this point.
Does anyone have expectations for Rin?
Yes,
Besides Rin?
I'll never tell.
Unless you guys have anything else you wanted to do in prep, I am going to speed this along. Otherwise,
Do
we're
it.
never going to get through it.
Do
This
it.
is true.
A few hours later, Kelso, you finished one skeleton.
Yay.
So you now have a grand total of 2.
Wonderful. Into the bag
And
it goes.
Rin, as you're wandering around the house, finding something to torment, you do hear at the door.
Brindle peak.
You see Yerk standing there waiting for the door to be opened.
The door slowly creaks open.
He looks a little confused and kind of pokes his head around it. Hello?
Rin's just standing there staring at him.
Hi. I was told to come meet you all here. I'm a little early.
How strange. Are you sure?
Do I hear this?
He's gonna send him
Yeah.
home, dear God.
Coming out with some cups of almost espresso level strength coffee.
Okay.
Yorick. Welcome. Please come in. Would you like some coffee?
Did you know he was coming?
I would love coffee.
I hoped he was coming, otherwise I would have felt deceived by our
Benefactor.
benefactor, I suppose would be a decent term for her. Strange relationship.
Are you talking about Dr. Breen?
No.
Shame.
The door slams behind Yerk.
Rin, did you want
What is Liberty's
coffee?
passive perception?
Passive
passive is
perception
13.
is 13.
Okay, I'd say that'll do it. You notice there is a cup that is next to Rin's cup that has coffee residue in it, but it's empty, and Rin's cup of tea is untouched. And you suspect he might have mixed up his cups by accident.
Accident.
Right. Right. So Liberty will gesture Yerk over to the table to show what we've got for battle plan so far.
All right, he'll look it over. Okay, this is a bold plan. Hopefully it will work. I do see one problem.
Real quick, remind me what race Yurik is.
Yerk is half.
Half orc.
Half orc. Marvelous.
Slim Shady the half orc.
There is a cork that has been painstakingly carved into a half orc, and then covered with a very comical cloak and holding a dagger.
Is that supposed to be me?
Rin's just staring at him again.
Okay. I do see one problem, however, with your plan. If we are to obtain the object instead of destroy it, setting off a bomb may damage, if not the object, most likely the cart that it is being carried by.
Well, that's the point. It's only a small bomb.
Right, but if we are going to take the object, it is going to be very hard to move it if we don't have a cart.
Well, we do have a cart.
I don't. You
The
do?
one,
Yes,
the one we brought
yours.
the snail back in.
I am. That is a two-wheeled cart. I do not know if that will hold whatever they are carrying. I have heard very little about it, but the one thing I have heard is that it is massive.
Rin flits to the back door and screams out the door frame, "Wizard!"
I'd say if he's, you would hear it from the basement.
Very muffled.
There he goes. Okay.
Najila's probably perched on something in the living room, so Najila's gonna look through her and see where people are if the coast is clear.
Yeah, you can see Rin in the doorway, Yerk and Liberty in the office. Zephyr is
Does Rin
on the
see
couch
Najila?
now. Yeah, he can see Najila,
Excellent. After
whose
screaming out the
head
doorway,
turns on a 180 to look at you as you yell.
after screaming out the doorway, he flits over to Najila and just whispers very, very close to her, "Wizard."
Oh, we broke him.
Is he
I
just
love comic
wait,
relief
wait.
characters in D&D. I cannot express how much I love comic relief characters in D&D.
It's great.
Can we have this 10 points off?
Hold on. Actually, yeah, go.
No,
Decide that.
the joke that Kelso made was really bad.
Fair
But
enough.
I made a really good one.
Yeah, but you make a lot of really good ones.
Well, what the fuck?
It has to be a sliding scale. Otherwise, every time you guys fight something, it's going to already be dead.
Great, we're grading on a curve now, ladies and gentlemen.
Say that like the audience can do anything to help
Rin,
us
are
from
you
the future.
just leaning? Are you like stooping in front of the bird then, or like because you're
My face is on the bird's level.
it pecks your nose.
Rin
You
pecks
can
its
little
nose
kid.
back.
She shuffles a little
Rin,
bit to
are
the
you
side.
done making out with the bird?
Najila, in response to unexpectedly getting pecked back, kind of like shuffles a little bit to the side.
Rin says, "Yeah, sucks, doesn't it?" He slips her a treat, then runs back to the door and screams, "Wizard!" He
Dorian
probably trips on halfway there.
Dorian slowly makes his way out of the cellar, and then trying his best to not be waiting till Rin's back his turn, is going to sneak into the kitchen and then leave through the kitchen instead.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Rin is actively looking for the wizard this time.
Technically. Oh wait, hold on. I'm in the wrong chat.
Technically.
I'm looking for the picture that I just pinned in the other chat. There's a door in between the stairs and the storeroom to the kitchen that would grant you
Yes.
safe passage without having to incur the wrath of
Wonderful.
Rin's gaze.
I didn't know if you were going to rule that doorway or not. Awesome.
That doorway's there. I drew that doorway.
I know you drew that doorway. No, I mean the
created the
doorway that
doorway.
leads from the cellar to the main room. I didn't know if you were going to say that he could see me through it or not.
Oh no, he can't see through it unless he opened it, and he didn't say he opened it, so it was
Wonderful.
closed.
Wonderful. Darian leads through the kitchen.
Okay.
Can I help you, Rin?
Can you cast Embiggen on a cart?
Can I cast
And
what?
Biggin.
Embiggen. You know, the big spell. And he leans
He
in
means
close.
enlarge.
I know what he means, but Darian doesn't.
Okay.
Biggin.
Yes.
No, I cannot increase the size of the cart.
Why ever not? Wizard, are you?
I am going to walk away now.
You
What a
don't know every
shame.
single wizard spell?
I'm sorry, I'm not a cleric. That's not how my spellbook works.
Does Rin know if there's magic shops in town? What time is it? 7:30? What does Rin know if there's magic
It's
shops
about
in town?
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
There is an entire magic district. We just got done talking about this. An entire
Shit,
magic
Rin doesn't have
district.
Never mind. Ignore me. I just realized my plan won't work because I gave all my money to orphans and poor people.
Also true.
Liberty still has cash. She barely bought anything at the Underground Bazaar. And I feel like Rin would probably be the kind of person who is inherently trained to notice the weight of people's coin pouches.
How
Not
dare
in
you
a
make
judge-
assumptions about him?
Not in a judgmental sort of
Does
way.
Darian have a safe?
You
Uh,
don't know that.
Having looked around, he has there's a chest in his office that tends to be locked just because, you lock up stuff. I have a feeling Rin has at the very least looked at the lock and realized that it's not a very sturdy one.
Rin is going to start looking for a safe or money repository that Darian has.
God's. Okay, make an investigation check.
Now I actually have to decide where that safe needs to be in the house.
Actually, not my strong suit, so we'll see how this goes. 13.
You look around, look behind picture frames, stuff like that. You're not finding anything obvious.
Okay.
From everyone else's perspective, you see Rin just kind of dart this way and that in the house, looking in the weirdest
Very
places.
montagey. You see him cross a hallway. You see him cross.
Scooby-Doo style. He
Scooby-Doo,
walks
yeah, I
in
was
one
about to
door and
say.
comes out another door further down the hall,
Ren, what are you doing?
looking for a safe.
Why are you looking for a safe?
I need approximately gold.
Why?
How much gold do you need?
No idea. How much does a spell scroll for Embiggen cost?
There is not a spell called Embiggen.
Yes, there is.
No, there is not.
Does it make things bigger?
I saw Rin get up in Darian's face.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened.
Theater of the mind when he portrays it without trying.
And then he just stares at him
Rin,
and then blinks.
spell
Sideways.
scrolls are considerably more expensive than you think they are.
Why do you think I was looking for a safe instead of just taking your wallet?
I don't know. I would assume it was your sense of humor that you like to do things in a more indirect way.
No, I'm very direct.
Darian,
Why
There
are you
is-
asking for
there
this? Why are you looking for these?
Well, you see, we have a small cart and we need a big cart.
Why?
He just
Yorick
points. He
believes-
just points at Yorick.
Yorick said that the
He is not that big.
no, the tool we are supposed
No, but the density of your skull more than makes up for it.
What
The
Mr.
item
Ghost
was
is trying to
supposed to be
say
recovering.
is that if we are trying to commandeer the item, pretty much the only thing we know about it is that it is very large, and with his current plan of blowing up part of it, it would make it a lot more difficult to transport.
History question. What are those sort of like I don't know what they're called.
Describe them.
So like the sort of like thrones, like when a king is being like walked through a
A
town.
palanquin.
That's not a word I know, but maybe he's being carried.
Yeah, a
like-
palanquin.
What is the word?
Palanquin.
Palanquin.
It's a throne held on two poles that is carried by two people, thrown on a
Yes.
platform. Yeah,
Yes.
I
palanquin.
actually never knew the name for that either, so you learn something new every day.
It's
You're
amazing
welcome.
how much of a repository of information the three of you are.
I'm here all week.
No, you're only here on Saturdays.
I'll kill you.
but only on
Darian
Saturday.
Darian
Only
sits a
on
little
Saturdays.
Darian sits a little bit confused. It's not a palanquin. They're not carrying it by hand. It's in the cart. We'll just take the cart it's on.
No,
Unless his explosives destroy the cart. I have
Well, I would
mending,
think
but
that he
if
would
one-
time it and place it well enough that he's not destroying everything, just the extra guards, I don't know. The extra carriages and groups
You're okay. Do we have any idea how many vehicles are in this caravan?
For this type of caravan, it's normally 2 or 3. We don't know about this one in particular. We haven't had any eyes on it yet.
Rin spins around and points at Liberty. What was in that tea?
Oh no.
What?
Liberty looks over to the cups. Coffee, apparently. And she gestures to it and lifts up the full teacup.
Rin's face is just completely blank.
Are you
I've
someone who should have...
just now realized the roleplay we've been having, and I am here for it.
Are you someone who should perhaps avoid large amounts of caffeine?
Why would you say that? And one of Rin's eyes is twitching slightly, and you realize it's not twitching, it's actually fluctuating in size a little bit.
Oh my gosh! How rapidly is his tail swishing back and forth right now?
It's not twitching rapidly, but it's twitching very.
No, his tail.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
twitching like a lot, but when it does, it's extremely quick.
Okay.
It is...
I'm thinking like full sweeps back and forth.
No, it's
This
very
is-
small twitches, but when it happens, it's in a blur.
This is... Kitty got a hyperactive hit off of that catnip.
Yeah.
He's got the zoomies.
He's got the zoomies. Liberty, what did you do? Why? Oh god.
You... she looks at Darian for a moment. You drink coffee fairly regularly, yes?
Every now and again, yes, fairly enough.
Going to take her...
Like a serial killer.
That was in character, wasn't it?
Actually, yeah, fucking, why not?
This
I
point,
take it
we're
he
in
does
sandwich
not.
territory. Liberty offers Darian her cup. Take a sip of this.
Darian's now standing very skeptically and not sure whether or not to drink it.
Just see how strong it is, and then think about for someone who is unused to drinking.
He takes a small sip of it.
It's like espresso.
By the gods, what have you done?
You've got this all.
To translate into modern speak, Darian just said, "Fuck, bro, I can't believe you done this."
Oh, I can't believe you've done this.
Oh, I miss mine.
It's like TikTok,
Oh.
but better and had quality.
My dad apparently has been quoting the Juan Vine. Did you know Jesus loves you? My cousin!
Jesus!
Cousin, you
No.
know.
I love you too. I
Jesus
don't know you.
Jesus no love me.
I forgot about that one.
That was a tangent.
My favorite one is when he's talking to the church girl, and she's like, "Yes, I am in love with Jesus." And he's like,
Jesus!
Church
"It's
now.
just," and then he and the next clip is him literally running down the sidewalk at this guy screaming, "Jesus!"
Leave Juanita alone.
Yep,
Darian
that's the one.
is
You throw
now
something at him.
Darian is
I
now quickly shuffling through books in his spell book to see if there is anything he could do to stop what is going to be happening for the next however many hours.
I don't.
I
have
was sorely
restoration
tempted to
prepared.
start a full on like the Fly situation.
We need a paladin with lay on hands.
Oh.
Just need 5 points.
Darian leans over to and speaks very quietly to Liberty. Do you think if we make him run there, he'll burn off the excess energy?
Rin leans in from the ceiling. You may try.
I'm picturing like the camera shot of the two of them talking, and then like behind the two of them, his head is just just upside down
lowering
is just
down.
slowly creeping into the top of the frame.
Yep. I am very glad I'm carrying across the energy I'm trying to achieve.
So good.
Very well.
Again, he and Freddy would be great together.
No.
I
they are
still
not
think
allowed
Rin
to
would
be
kill
together.
him.
Rin would
I don't
definitely
know.
kill him.
The thing is, he would welcome the attempts and then not even harbor any hard feelings against it.
Bold of you to assume
Rin-
there would be an attempt and not a success.
Rin, he thrives off of attention. It makes him stronger. You have to ignore him.
Yeah,
He's like the Hulk,
don't
except
ignore-
with attention.
Don't ignore Freddy. He doesn't. He takes issue. Oh.
So,
Liberty, we need to deal with this.
one moment. Liberty's going to pull out her book and thumb through to see if she has any rituals.
They are both now
That might be
reading
able to help
very, very rapidly, looking for a solution.
She pulls out her book, makes eye contact with Yerk, and just mouths, "I'm so sorry."
He looks so confused.
There's not really anything I can do to fix that.
Nope.
I know it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Lesser Restoration is not a ritual, and I swapped that one out for Silence because I thought that might be more useful for dealing with the explosion.
Oof.
So looking through all of this, Liberty gets a weird idea and says, "Excuse me for a moment."
I think we just had the same idea.
I don't know if we did. She's going to walk into another room because she has another ritual that is prepared. And she's going to pull out these ornate cards and ask Amada, essentially, is it going to be okay if we take Rin in this?
You are stupid and that's okay. You are stupid and that's okay. You are stupid and that's okay.
Because it has to be within the next 30 minutes. I was saving this for when we got to the blind spot to see if we need to make any last minute change of plans, but now...
I don't think it's going to help. But you're in a different room, so...
So for this particular one, since it is player-based, instead of giving you the I don't know, I rolled my dice, and for those of you who know my dice, you know that I have ascribed agency to 3 of them. One
Let me guess.
One is my wheel, one is my woe, and one is my chaos.
Now I understand
which
last night's
one is reigning
conversation.
supreme. Yes.
My chaos rolled an 18,
Yeah.
which checks out.
Yep.
However, my wheel is higher than my woe. That's your answer.
I feel like that is actually
Pretty accurate for
probably
the situation.
yeah. No.
What you're saying is Ring temporarily gains a level in Barbarian.
No, what Rin
No,
gains
I've got
is
this.
minor haste, which means he adds 5 feet to his movement speed. But every time he uses that, he needs to make a dexterity saving throw or else trip as his foot practically vibrates.
I love that.
Liberty packs away the cards, walks back into the room. Well, I
Sorry.
believe everything will work out in the end, but it is going to be, how to put it, a wild ride.
Are you looking at Rin when you say this?
she's trying to console Darian.
Dorian looks at Rin. It's like, this is part of the
Excellent. I'm
course.
glad to hear it. Rin is sitting in your office. Sorry, a Khajiit is sitting in your office chair, wearing one of your better jackets, and they are a bright pink.
Wow, that is bright. Please don't wear my jacket. I really don't want to have to deal with fur on the inside of it.
Meow.
Oh, this is going to be a wild ride indeed. He's not going to phase shift into another plane, is he?
I didn't get anything that detailed. I have not heard of coffee having that kind of effect, even on the more sensitive types. But
Yes, but he is not a tiefling per se. It's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't think whatever he is capable of that. It's just he is vibrating. I could see it from here. He is actually vibrating.
Like the Flash as he phases through the chair.
I'm picturing him hopping up on. Okay, have you guys watched Hamilton?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so fine. For Jacob and Forge, they will understand that this is that scene in the Reynolds pamphlet when Jefferson is sitting on the desk, but still somehow bouncing and dancing.
Oh my god.
Gosh.
While this is fun, it is getting late. I am
Yeah.
going to move us along.
Right.
Do you sorry. I was curious as to whether or not if he shotguns like 3 or 4 of those, if he would just be able to Misty Step without using spell slots. Like 3
No,
or 4
that's when
times.
he's using. That's when he's that's when he's rolling Constitution saving throws and very potentially death saving throws, as his heart stops.
Just curious at the laws at play. we should get going.
This is how Rin dies, caffeinated heart attack.
Honestly, checks out.
It's better than sandwiches.
You take that back.
You're coming with me, bud. 2 of us are visiting the afterlife this night.
Oh,
It's
boy.
fine. I feel like the afterlife is
hi,
familiar with me at this point.
Don't worry, you already took care of your will.
This is true.
Evening eventually takes you all as you guys pack up your stuff, load up the cart, and begin to head out just before sunset. You guys make your way around the city and pass many denizens of the city, merchants who are traveling, just making it into the city walls as you pass them. Before you guys make it past the city and onto the road leading east-northeast. You guys continue into the night as the sun fully sets and the stars become a brilliant blanket through the sky. Are you guys planning on sleeping in the cart as you travel? What is the plan?
We could probably do that for the most part.
Yeah. Liberty brought along essentially like a thermos of the coffee, which she is guarding from Rin, but she offers to drive the cart since she doesn't need to sleep on the ride over. But if they want to get some sleep before we get there,
It's probably a good thing.
All right. Rin, you
know if
cannot
Rin
sleep.
can.
You
Naturally.
cannot. I
What?
did not feel like I had to tell you that, but I had to tell everyone else that through you. But Yerk and Zephyr will get comfy in the back of the cart, as well as Darian, I assume.
Yes.
As Liberty, you are bounced and jostled every now and then as Rin dashes as much as he can in
Rin
the
is
cart.
doing a full-on singing in the rain dance number around the edges of the cart.
Yep.
When you say around the
Accompany-
edges, do you mean within the confines of the cart, or is he
No,
running?
outside
Is
of
he
On the
literally
outside.
running laps
He's-
around the cart right now?
You know when he does like that whole spin on the lamppost thing?
Exactly so.
Yeah, he's hanging off of it. Yeah, yeah. Liberty has that expression of a mom with a hyperactive 3-year-old that's running around screaming and making a mess, where like you can just see she's like, I can't wait to get to my glass of wine tonight.
Death sounds like enough sleep.
I don't have faint death. I only have gentle repose. I am so sorry.
Yes,
I
he's
could
doing that
cast
with
sleep-
the accompanying musical number, which surprisingly doesn't sound half bad.
I could cast sleep on him, but it would only last for a minute, so it's not really worth the spell slot.
Bold of you to assume that he wouldn't
It's
just soak up the
acceptable.
hit points.
I'm just saying, like, even at its most effective, it's not worth it.
I'll say about 4 hours into the trip is when you actually feel your heart start to slow down a little
Here comes the crash.
before you hit the bottom of the cart and are out cold.
There is an audible, Amada is truly gracious. And there is one tear of gratitude.
So far, you guys have been traveling on a well-trodden road. You've passed one or two small little hamlets or villages, but nothing terribly exciting about them. A few more hours in, you make it to a section of the road that has risen above the desert sands and is overlooking the ocean. It is a gorgeous sight. The stars reflecting on the waters as they slowly ripple this way and that. The cliff initially is only about 50 feet high, but it begins to rise higher and higher till you have about 100 foot to 200 in some places drop. The cliff on the right-hand side of you also goes a little higher for another 50 to 75 feet. This is relatively the area that Rin had picked out.
Liberty will slow the cart and wake up Yerk and Darian first. I think we're getting close.
This is not a bad place.
Dorian kind of looks around. It's a good thing he spent his time, well, picking out the spot while we did our own research.
He is definitely very competent, yes.
Mr. Ghost is definitely a professional.
Sometimes it is hard to remember that, given his nature.
I don't know what you mean.
You saw how he was in the office with the pink fur. He's usually not quite that loud. However, there is a certain level of obnoxious that he seems to put on, at least in Darian's presence.
The energy is still there, it's just not necessarily in that form. Trust me, if you live with him for a few days and he has disdain for you, you would notice.
Perhaps he just has greater respect for you, York.
I am confused as to how to respond. Instead, I will say that if we are planning on making an ambush here, we should probably pull off the road somewhere, maybe find a way to climb the cliff.
Right?
Right. A few minutes later, you guys find a stream that has been diverted underneath the road via a stone bridge above it. The stream offers a decent off-road slope up to where the cliff would peak. It's a little rough, and you're a little worried for the cartwheels every now and then, but you make your way up that and are now atop the cliff. Off towards the desert, it just stretches for quite a while without breaking whatsoever. And off to the other side, the ocean does the same, but in a completely different sense.
I don't see any carts coming towards us, so it appears we have time to get set up.
Should we wake him?
Real quick, Jacob, Bryn fell face down, yes?
More or less.
Sure.
Okay, just checking.
Oh gosh. Um,
Gonna look like a stroke victim for a few minutes.
Darian, I believe you are more researched in anatomy and physiology than I am, so this may be more your wheelhouse.
I have to roll something.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that the
The
joke?
dice have decided.
Darian's going to, from a distance, poke him with his quarterstaff.
Okay.
Rib
Just to,
cage.
Double check, in case my memory is faulty. None of y'all have actually ever seen Rin asleep, yes?
That's
Mhm.
accurate.
Yes.
I don't think so. You're normally in a cupboard.
Excellent. Rin sits up, but it is not Rin as you know him. Because I have the dice have made the executive decision that when asleep, a changeling cannot concentrate on their form. And so they revert to their natural form.
Ooh.
That can be a written specific thing. I'm pretty sure rules as written.
Yeah. That only happens when you die, I think. Yeah.
If I may, being made unconscious the way that Rin was, this actually makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
So would you like to describe true Rin for us?
I'm in the midst of figuring that out, and I'm more than willing to accept some input from the DM.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards sort of a play off of their sort of in fiction natural form, which is sort of faceless with eyes and that sort of thing.
That's pretty much what is accurate for your character. Quite possibly you would still have the slits for the nostrils, although the nose would be either non-existent or very subtle.
Voldemort style, gotcha.
Super bland and featureless.
There are ears, and they are pointed. And they're larger in just general size than elf ears.
Okay, that's doable. And I want to say that just for a little bit of flavor, the eyes are like pure solid black.
Cool.
So that sits up.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, this one's new.
And it squints and looks down. It's like shakes his head. It's like shit. And then it morphs, and Rin, Tiefling Rin is back.
So what are you exactly, anyway?
Not a word. And
Darian,
you never
this is
put
fun.
coffee near me again.
I have learned the lesson. I am very sorry for the mix-up, and Darian, that is definitely a question for another time.
Fine. Fine.
Yurk is just stunned.
Morbid curiosity, what can I say?
He hasn't blinked.
I'm sorry. What did you
Rin
say
points
about
at
Liberty?
Rin points at Yuruk and says, "If you breathe the word, I will kill you."
He just kind of slowly nods.
Yep, got him. Yep, okay.
What did Darian say about Liberty?
No. His response was just kind of shrugging off and saying morbid curiosity. What can I say?
Oh, okay. There were people talking at once, so I could only hear part of what you said. Apologies.
Rin, up another. It is it's time to get started, and I feel like you would probably be best at planting them wherever you want them. If you need them buried, I can help you with that as well. Najila starts flying off for an aerial view.
Who do I want to give Vigilant Blessing to today?
Q, pick me, pick me.
I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be Darian.
I say that as a joke.
So, Rin,
Yes.
as you peer over the cliff, you see that the road passing beneath you, no more than like 15 feet wide, 20 feet in some places. This is definitely a one cart road,
Okay.
which helps.
Yes, this is fact.
Where would you like to place the explosives?
One at the very entrance to this area, and one at the very exit, and one dead in the middle.
Okay. Okay.
Darian peers over the edge of the cliff, contemplating.
Don't jump.
Darian, how far does your connection with Najila stretch?
100 feet or so. Why do you ask?
It might be a good idea to have some advanced warning when they're coming.
Of course, that's why I sent her off.
I completely missed that.
That's fine. DM, remind me, the 100 feet limit is strictly for delivering touch spells, right? I could still communicate.
The 100-foot limit is for you communicating with your creature. You can still see through them, but you can only communicate them within 100 feet.
Right, that's what I meant to say, sorry. But I can still, if I choose to see in here, there's not a distance limit on that, is what you ruled, right?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
I'm pretty sure that's how rules is written.
It's vague on the matter. She'll fly, let's say, 200 or so, and then just kind of hang out in that area and just make patrols, I guess, lack of a better word, every now and again.
Okay.
Is she going to pretend to hunt mice occasionally so that it looks normal?
Yeah. And she'll land every now. I mean, she'll fly really high up, and then eventually she'll land and hang out for a while, because an owl on the ground is not like the most obvious thing at this time of night. Back to Darian peering over the edge. He kind of starts rubbing his beard a little bit and starts looking at different points along the path, knowing where Rin intends to plant the charges. Rin, if you want, we can coordinate a little bit. I do know the spell Grease might be helpful with encouraging some of them to leave the path, as it were.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat that.
Darian's suggestion is that if you want to coordinate with him, he can cast Grease at one or two spots along the path to
Someone die?
apparently, to assist in encouraging some of the guards to take a nosedive, or at least fall over.
Not he.
What?
Not yet.
Oh,
Oh.
they said naughty.
That's a very different. Yeah, that was an important distinction.
Still fits the character, which is why. No, not yet, but in due time. How high up is the cliff? Is it 50? You said.
There are sections that are 50 and sections that are 75.
Okay, because my range on that is 60, so I'd have to find spots that I can at least get closer, or at least within the range.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you said it was 15 feet wide. The path.
The path is 15 feet wide. Yes,
Okay. Which is enough to cover
more or
most of
less.
it.
It's not
We'll cover
like
most
it's
of
not
it.
straight, but yeah, for most part, it's 15 feet wide.
Do you need help burying those, or do you plan to just set them down?
I'll bury them.
Okay, I can help you with that if you want. Mulder is quite useful for things like this.
Liberty doesn't have a whole lot of useful things to do to help with prep, so she's just using disguise self to make her clothing appear darker and maybe even slightly dappled to kind of blend in with the dim light and shadows out
Okay.
here.
Zephyr is pacing back and forth on the road near where Darian and Rin are working, but not really doing much other than that. He appears to be very bored. Yerk is still standing exactly where he was when he saw Rin.
So after fixing up my clothes, he's still Yerk?
Hi, sorry. Yes. Is there something I can help you with? Were you speaking to me?
No, just now. I just noticed you seem still a bit stunned.
Sorry. That was just very surprising. If my eyes did not deceive me, I believe that I understand a bit more why he is so proficient at his work.
You are familiar with creatures that look like that.
Oh, that's
no.
harsh. Creature.
I am
It's a hard
certainly
category.
not. Though I more or less understand what is going on, and that would be a valuable asset. Yes, I will be keeping that to myself.
This is probably for the best. How are you doing? Are you at all fatigued?
No, I'm well rested.
All right. I have more coffee, but I would recommend small sips if your constitution is anything like Vince.
I drink coffee. Not much, not often, but I drink it. I'll probably wait till morning.
Fair enough.
So the bombs have been set. Preparation has been made. Is there any other prep that you guys would like to make before settling down for your rest for the night?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
Question: because speeds and physics that I would not know. Having Najila 200 feet out, how much time would that be if I notice when she notices? How much of a head start would it be when she sees it from where she is?
Oh, you're asking how much time it would take for them to get from her to where you are.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to say just because you're not sure how fast they're traveling. You'd probably have like a minute,
Okay.
maybe two.
Okay. That should be enough time. The way I'm ruling it is that I'm just kind of checking every now and again, so I may not see it the second that it's visible to her.
You can also tell Najila before you send her that if she sees something to come back to you immediately. She can follow simple orders like that.
Right.
She could fly within range and then communicate with you. So
Yeah. The way I was mentally seeing that was more of a sentinel thing, and then when I notice, I just dispel her and resummon her. But that would require me to
Resummon.
look every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're pretty fast flyers, so I'll just have her come back. That's better.
All right.